culture is actually pretty good.
We've got a light egg in there.
You want to kick? You're going to kick.
Runs into the end zone. That is a touchdown.
Seeing ghosts.
Jameis Winston is going to be the starting quarterback for the Buccaneers in 2020. I can see why Tampa Bay is tempted. He can sling the football. Things are looking up for Jameis. It's time to celebrate. With the greatest batch of turnovers he's ever produced. All of the turnovers. Make them fresh. Hell, do it for everyone. Both sides joining in on the festivity. Jameis is so goddamn reckless that they're tied at halftime. What? Houston, what the fuck? You should be dominating with all of these opportunities. You even got shitloads of ref ball to help you out. Bruce Arians was so red he could have been mistaken for a bitter, disillusioned Elmo. If that's not enough for you, Tampa Bay shuts down offensively in the second half. Your defense kinda showed up, but you can thank Cameron Brate for not catching a ball that was already in his hands. But remember, Jameis is a gunslinger. This might be the most important drive of his career. What does he do? He makes more turnovers. Another brutal relapse for Jameis. You sure you want to keep him around Tampa? He doesn't seem keen on changing. Hell, he's so far gone he even baked an AFC South Division title for the Texans. Surprisingly, this title wasn't intercepted by the Titans. You should be a lot better than what you are and you keep giving your fans heart attacks, but sometimes talent can bail out shitty tactics and coaching. Maybe you'll show up this time instead of being a one and done again. This Christmas, Buffalo has much to celebrate. Let us bring this day about with the Buffalo optimism and inebriation meter. Let's be real, they're both the same thing. At this point in time, Buffalo's hope and blood alcohol content are at levels well over 10,000%. The Bills are a legit playoff contender for the first time in 20 years. Fans are storming the airport to cheer on the team as they return from a statement win. They have a chance to shed their demons in Foxborough. They can still win the AFC East title. Forcing a fumble to start will help out. A field goal to take the lead kinda so. New England would pull out some more bullshit to take a lead and your offense can't get anything going, at least until the final drive of the first half. Look at Josh Allen give us the gift of a fat guy touchdown. Tied at halftime. And they come out blazing in the second half. Optimism is so hot it may burn the damn city down. But to the chagrin of the rest of the league, New England and their bullshit would prevail. The offense falls flat. The defense can't stop Julian Edelman and N'Keal Harry. The Patriots regain the lead. But Buffalo, they don't give up. A chance at redemption is in their grasp. They fail. You were the heroes we needed, yet you weren't ready to take the mantle. New England once again takes the AFC East. At least you kept it close? Who am I kidding? It means absolutely nothing when you fall short. This was your chance? What a shame. You know, this would be a lot easier for the Rams if they didn't fall apart offensively against relatively weaker teams. Now having to go into a Santa Clara hungry for blood is far from a good thing, even with the Rams riding a heat wave. Los Angeles wouldn't be beaten, but beat themselves. Thank Jared Goff for this awful read leading to a pick six. They'll have the lead, but it's irrelevant if the Niners keep fighting back. It means nothing that the Rams are still in the game and fighting valiantly. They'll find a way to blow it. You tied the game? Who cares? We know the key to ruining them today. 3rd and 16. How about blowing 2 of them in consecutive fashion? Let me relish in the buy one get one free dagger.
Gold wins it again.
Don't feel bad, boy genius McVay. This team was fucked regardless. I wouldn't feel bad for the Rams' disappointing season if I were you. I'd fear the inevitable cap hell that's on their doorstep. When you give your money to a QB that can't elevate his team, a running back with an arthritic knee, and a Jalen Ramsey that can demand anything from you, you're fucked. Here's the thing. You have to give Ramsey what he wants. When you invest that much draft capital in him, there is no other option. St. Louis gets their spank bank material for the next half-decade. Can't say I fault them for it. The future is here, Carolina. The stale interceptions of Kyle Allen have been replaced by the fresher interceptions of Will Grier. No wonder why they didn't start him until now. He'd probably do better becoming an internet personality like his brothers were. There were only beatdowns for Indy's failures on the season. You were just a victim of circumstance, Panthers. I'd say more, but let's be honest, most of your issues are self-inflicted. The only winners here are Cleveland and Oakland. They survive thanks to Indy's win. Carolina only needs one more week until they can blow it up. I can smell the nukes from here. You can punch them in the face to activate the countdown. Flick off the fans before they explode, though. It appears that Shahid Khan has taken a reprieve from his upstart wrestling federation to deal with the mess that is Jacksonville. After a damning statement from the NFLPA where they tell free agents to not sign with the Jaguars due to their bullshit damage control to commence, Tom Coughlin and his fossilized mentalities have been pushed into the Everglades. Father Coughlin and his second Jacksonville go-around learned the lesson that being a successful head coach doesn't translate into the executive branch. Why, he only botched it so badly that he pissed off countless key players and ruined a Super Bowl contender. Now they're all but screwed with key free agents coming up and a god-awful contract to Nick Foles that already looked questionable at the time of signing. The damage is long done. Welcome back to Lolcoutum. We moved the clocks forward 5 minutes for you. Thank us later. The same can be said for your game against Atlanta. Jacksonville looked like shit against the Falcons team looking to further spin the wheels of failure. Winning when it matters? What the fuck is that? I'd muck Atlanta further, but this is a weekly occurrence these days. I'll just stick to Jacksonville fucking everything up like they usually do. Shit like this is a great reason to bring Marone and Caldwell back, right? It's not like they're also responsible for the garbage on display. Shahid Khan gives no fucks about this team. I can already sense it. You think such a game could be held by the flimsy borders of Sportsball? You would be mistaken. The greatest game deserves much more than this. The consolation prize to the greatest game does not get such attention. The final fight for what could be Chase Young can only be brought about with 2 words. Tank Ball! It's a shame that such games couldn't be on the docket in Week 17, but I will accept here and instead. A shit show showdown featuring abortions of the NFC East. Never will I embrace such a travesty more than in FedEx Field. Perhaps the fans will be like the defenses and not show up whatsoever. Daniel Jones and Dwayne Haskins need to be the stars of this show. Look at the non-existent resistance they encounter from these dead teams. It's just like spring break in Cancun. There will be scoring aplenty. We worthless fuckers are the defenses. We get dunked on and sit awkwardly as everyone else enjoys themselves. Even Haskins is getting in on the action, until he's cut it off with an ankle injury. Here's the older dude in Case Keenum trying to sneak in on some college tail. He's succeeding at least. Even the special teams units are total garbage. The Redskins are trying to somehow save Bruce Allen's job with a 14-point comeback. Overtime is a worthy reward for the tanking faithful in attendance. Valiantly, the Redskins defense remembers the true prize and Daniel Jones torches the shit out of them. The G-men fuck up everything as usual and ruin their chances at Chase Young. Poor Chase. No wonder why you want to stay in college. I wouldn't want to play on the Deadskins either. Titans, this is what happens when you can't take care of business against the Texans at home. You get to see New Orleans flex their might against you, ironically on home soil. Like most seasons, things are looking up at the start. Ryan Tannehill is leading you to a quick charge against the dreaded adversary. There is hope, but yes, this is New Orleans. They have plenty to play for and prove how potent their offense truly is. Sorry, Titans, I don't make the rules, I only relay them to the poor saps that are stuck in the way. What's that you say? You stop them on a 4th down and have possession of the ball down by 3?
Play action on 1st down as Tannehill throws and it's complete. Khalif Raymond, the question is, once he ruled down, the ball came out.
It's the same damn thing as last week. One play changes the game. Again. New Orleans puts the dagger in your throat and escapes with a win. Don't worry, all you have to do is win next week and you get both the traditional 9-7 and a playoff berth. You can manage, right? It doesn't matter the circumstances. It doesn't matter if there's anything at stake whatsoever, the Cleveland Browns will fuck it up. It's been a horrifically brutal season, even by Cleveland standards, yet they still somehow have a chance to redeem themselves. You know how this goes by now. Baltimore even gives them a bone by struggling to find jumper cables to start their offense. But, yes, the Browns happen. What does this entail? Baker getting pissy with the fans after a shitty offensive drive. OBJ being the next receiver to openly argue with the utterly inept thumb of a coach. Mismanaging the clock to the point where Baltimore gets 14 points in the final 2 minutes of a half. Nick Chubb, who the fuck is that? Literally everything you needed to happen to somehow make the playoffs happen. Wouldn't you guess it? They still fuck it up! Baltimore does what should have been done long ago and stab your underachieving carcass in the heart. They get a number 1 seed as a result. Aren't you proud, Browns? You're fucking trash, yet you're too radioactive to realize it. Don't even try to walk out, you're too undisciplined to even use a door. I'll fling you out with a trebuchet. All of the goddamn talk you guys did before the season and it couldn't even get you to 500. This might be the most agonizing season in Browns history, and that's saying something. It was so bad that it made me, a fan of a rival, angry at them for fucking everything up. Only Cleveland could do this. Can Jimmy Haslam scuttle off to prison already? You just can't die, can you? It's always the worst part of Pittsburgh playing like shit. Another episode of Days of Our Steelers. Fuck life. 2 dead teams trying to gain some sort of morality victory. What a wonderful sight to no one in attendance. Denver, you better be thankful that Detroit is utter ass at this point. Despite an early lead, they have nothing to keep pressure on you as you get one of those wins that only give a temporary high. For God's sake, there's enough legal weed in Colorado. You don't need the Lions to lie down like they always do to do that. After last week's debacle of an Oakland finale, the Chargers also get a send-off to the soccer stadium that opposing teams called home for a few years. Wouldn't you guess it, the Raiders are in town and they have a massive fan base in LA. You might need to go back to those silent counts for this one, boys, because it's been an embarrassing tenure here. Just like your hopes of winning, the Raiders also took that away from you. It wasn't even convincing. They kept it just within reach so you thought you had a chance. They swipe it away as you fall into the San Andreas Fault. You want to know the funny thing? Due to everything falling their way, the Raiders somehow still have a chance to be the 6th seed in the AFC. I will laugh hysterically if it happens. Please do. The Raiders will be destroyed in the postseason, but hilarity is always welcomed here. Let's see here. A relatively weaker opponent, a home matchup with the 12s in attendance, a needed win to keep pace in the playoff race. Everything is lining up for incredible disappointment. Despite all the meticulous planning in the world, Seattle's defense cannot solve the intricate formulas of one Kenyon Drake. The Cardinals are the kind of team to try and play spoiler for a team's playoff hopes. You would guess that Arizona would do just that. Even as Kyler Murray got injured, the Seahawks somehow couldn't deal with the offensive might of Brett Hundley and Kenyon Drake. Oh yeah, the injuries. Seattle, you've got some new patients in the infirmary. There's some big names. Not too good, I'd say. Are they trying to be a wildcard team since they do so much better on the road or something? I know the answer. Bring back Beast Mode! Because he hasn't been run into the ground enough already. Tonight on Dallas, a must-win game against a hated rival goes south in a barrage of incompetence. Do you remember all of those weapons the boys had on offense? They were nowhere to be found. It's almost as if you expected the stars to show up on something besides publicity material or advertisements. Zeke will only be fed in a soup kitchen with how broke he was on running plays. Dak definitely deserves $40 million a year for the wondrous privilege of missing his receivers on regularity. If he somehow makes his throws, why, they'll simply drop them with the greatest of ease. Jason Witten might be better off in the broadcast booth after all. It's a cavalcade of cringeworthy performances as the Eagles just sit there and laugh to themselves. Just like everyone in the link is doing. What is a touchdown? What is playing up to their abilities? I couldn't say either as the Cowboys shit the bed. The final drive of the game. How about rotating Amari Cooper out of the lineup? It's not like he'd be able to catch a football today, though. No matter the circumstances, we will feast on their humiliation. Everyone is broken. Jerry is beside himself since his ego got in the way yet again. Even Skip Bayless has had enough of his blind homerism and disowned these fuckers. Say it with me, everyone. How about them Cowboys? Nothing to see here, folks. Just another warm-up game for the Chiefs. Do you want a confidence booster for your defense? Just face the goddamn Bears. You can be reminded of what an idiotic decision it was to trade several mid-round picks to move up one position in the draft as well. Did I mention that Patrick Mahomes is on the other side? They'll keep telling you that Chicago could have had him instead, but forget to say that he was an insanely boom-or-bust prospect that would have been castigated if selected that high. Nothing really matters besides that the Bears were skinned alive due to a smothering game plan by Kansas City. You like being scarred, Bears fans? Harrison Butker feels like trolling you all with a double doink. Same end zone. You can't make this shit up. I get prepared for management grossly overpaying for Cam Newton in the offseason, Chicago. I wouldn't put it past this regime to try and save their hides. Has anyone mentioned that Kirk Cousins is winless on Monday Night Football yet? I don't know, the media hasn't rammed it down everyone's throats enough. If you miss such news, Green Bay's defense will reinforce that narrative. They were suffocating. Minnesota had one good drive and then a whole lot of nothing. A pretty bad look when you're trying to inspire the fans for a playoff push. There was even a lack of Green Bay's offense doing much in the first half, but they'd wake up eventually. The Vikings were just like their offensive line, asleep at the wheel. Once again, Minnesota must face the reality of bowing down to their older brother for NFC North supremacy. Everyone bitches about Kirk Cousins being unable to perform when needed. Things are returning to normalcy. I know you don't want to hear it, Vikings fans, but at least the Rams lost. You made the playoffs? Yeah, if Dalvin Cook isn't at full strength, I don't know how much of a chance the Vikings have. This could have been an impressive statement win, but all it did was reinforce how much this team crumbles when it matters. Good luck, boys. The odds are against you. Most of the playoff spots have been clinched by this point, but there are still positions to be settled. In the AFC, Baltimore is the number 1 seed. New England will get a first-round bye if they beat Miami or Kansas City loses. Kansas City will clinch the bye if the results are flip-flopped. Houston can jump to the 3 seed if they beat Tennessee and the Chiefs lose as well. Buffalo will remain the 5th seed, but the final spot will be a toss-up between Tennessee, Pittsburgh, and, yes, Oakland. Tennessee is winning in or if the Steelers or Colts lose. Pittsburgh needs to win and get a Titans loss. The Raiders need blood magic. Ironically, the Colts play a huge role in this as well. The NFC is still wide open. The 49ers, Packers, Saints, and Seahawks can all claim the number 1 seed. San Francisco is the easiest with winning in. Green Bay needs to win and the Niners to lose. New Orleans needs to win and the Niners and Packers to lose. Seattle can claim it by winning and with both the Saints and Packers losing. The Eagles control their own destiny in the NFC East. They beat the Giants, they make the playoffs. The only way Dallas makes it in now is by them winning and the Eagles losing. We're getting into the endgame, boys. Remember the rule.
Don't get eliminated!
The gods always demand sacrifice. Let us lament those we have lost this week.
Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost.
May the fallen be blessed in the football afterlife. Amen.
Michael Pilardi again with the kick and backing up Hines. And on the 16, Hines is going to try to get free, and he does. Only Pilardi remains, and he's not going to get him. How about this?